Yo, what's up guys, Shadowfacey here, back with another video. Today I'm gonna talk about the patch notes real quick. Just gonna go through some of the changes and highlight some of the really important ones. Alright, so right off the bat, one of the biggest changes, you guys saw this coming. The Arbiter is gonna get 6 portals and other bosses are gonna follow as well. Personally, I don't know how I feel about this change, especially now with the loot tables we got right now. The most expensive, most desirable items from the Arbiter, they're all available at difficulty 1. All the higher difficulty rewards from the Arbiter are completely worthless. Prism of Belief is kinda expensive if you get a good roll, but if you don't, then it's junk, it's worthless. GGG's gotta redistribute the loot tables in the future. They gotta make the really good drops, the desirable ones. They gotta lock it to the higher difficulties so that prices don't tank and become really worthless. Another thing I want to share with you guys right now is that there's actually a POE wiki for POE 2, similar to the first game. And right now they actually have some sort of crowdsourced data on which difficulties give you the highest chances for certain items. And right now if you see the picture that I put up on the video, you can see that actually at difficulty 3 you got a higher chance to get the Mora Invictus. And if you go to difficulty 4, the chance goes down. So right now the way it works is that you kind of don't want to be playing a difficulty 4 Arbiter of Ash boss fight, you want to do a difficulty 3 instead. And I know that uniques are not the only thing that you can farm from the Arbiter, but right now I think that's the most expensive unique, that's the most reliable, easy to get. And that's why I think this portal change is a little bit sus. Another really big change is actually this line over here. Temporalis no longer reduces cooldowns to basically instant. You can no longer infinite blink, you have to wait. Instead, you gotta wait at least a 10th of a second before you can do your second blink. And most importantly, why I'm highlighting this right now is because this change is gonna affect certain builds. For example, Jongroan has a Temporalis auto bomber with Choir of the Storm. And I'm sure it's still playable, but because of the cooldown change and how Choir of the Storm has been changed, it might actually be worse. So you guys gotta keep an eye out for that. A lot of big changes to mapping, for example, quality of life. They added more monsters, more chests, they make strong boxes faster, but I'm not too interested in going through all of that because these are not things that you need to pay attention to. They're not gonna break your build, and in general it's just gonna make you get a bit more loot, a bit more monsters to kill. Certain really annoying monsters no longer use certain attacks. The stupid shade doesn't go invisible as much anymore. So yeah, that's most of the monster changes. Okay, but most importantly, why I even bother to make this video is because of this one change hidden in a bunch of changes that no one cares about, a bunch of buffs that do no shit. It's this line over here that says Original Sin no longer sets your chaos resistance to 0. And this used to be such a horrible debuff for a ring that's really pretty hard to get and missing one of its upsides from Power of Exile 1. And now it doesn't set your chaos resistance to 0, it gives you 20-ish chaos resistance on average. And this is going to make it usable on builds that don't use CI. And why this is so important is because Original Sin used to be a really good ring in Power of Exile 1. It used to be a chase unique. It used to cost just under a mirror every league. It was the Temporalis of Power of Exile 1. And the reason why it was so good is because if you didn't know, it converts all your elemental damage into chaos damage. And why playing chaos damage is so important is because chaos damage has a lot of support to increase how much damage you do. You can use things such as Wither, and you can use things such as Despair to increase the chaos damage that enemies take. And I know that in Power of Exile 2, Original Sin is not as strong because it doesn't set enemies' resistance to 0, but it's still really good. I think there's potential here now with this buff. And just so you guys know, be aware that you cannot penetrate resistances below 0 anymore in Power of Exile 2. You can only lower their resistance below 0 with a curse such as Despair. But with Despair and Wither is a debuff that makes them take 5% more damage and you can apply it 10 times. That results in you doing 50% more damage, and getting them to negative resistance is pretty easy since most mobs do not actually have a lot of chaos resistance to begin with. There's this really good YouTube video on how to stack Wither in Power Exile. This is one of the best things about playing chaos damage. So I recommend you check this guy out. Link in the description. And Yeah, let me know if this video helped you, and let me know if you got any build ideas with original sin now that it's been changed.